Hello, welcome back to the Boardgames 4K YouTube channel, and this is a channel where we give you reviews, playthroughs, and we generally talk crap about board games and role-playing games, card games, all that sort of stuff in a glorious 4K resolution. And today we're going to be looking at a Dudes on the Map game from Awakened Realms, and it's Lords of Hellas. And in this one, what you'll be doing, you'll be taking control of a hero and an army in ancient Greece that's been visited by aliens, and they've provided you with this alien technology. And what you'll be trying to do, you'll be trying to build monuments, you'll be trying to control temples, you'll be trying to slay ancient mythological creatures, and generally you'll be trying to fulfill one of the 4 victory conditions that will allow you to be crowned the Lord of Hellas. And in this video, what we'll be doing, we'll be giving you a very rough overview of the rules. We'll be telling you what we do like, what we don't like, and then we'll come back and we'll tell you whether or not Lords of Hellas is worth playing above other games that's kind of similar to this one. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel, leave a comment in the relevant section down below, and we'll see you after this. Boardgames 4K. So what you'll be doing, the main proviso of this one is very simple. So what you'll be doing, you'll be taking a number of regular actions, and there's 4 regular actions. And once you've decided that you're not going to do any more regular actions, you'll be taking 1 special action. So we'll just go through, quickly tell you what all the regular actions are, then we'll tell you what the special actions are, and then we'll tell you the victory conditions you need to do to win this game, right? So the first regular action you can do is you can use an artifact, and throughout the game you'll be getting these different ways of getting these artifacts, and they'll give you a permanent ability that you can use once per round. And when you use the use artifact action, you'll tap the artifact and you'll take the action associated with the artifact, or you'll get the benefit that the artifact gives you. So the second action, regular action that you can do, is you can pray, and that means you can take a priest from your priest pool on your player board, and you'll be placing it in one of the 2 available slots on any temple, and then you'll look at your help tray, and then that will tell you which attribute and what benefit you'll get from that god. So the third action that you can do is you can move your hero, and what you'll do, you look at your speed attribute, and then you move your hero that many spaces on the board. Wow, it's well easy, right? So the 4th and final regular action that you can do, you can move your hoplites. Your hoplites are your basically army dudes, right? And what you do, you look at your leadership attribute, and that will allow you to move, depending on what your leadership score is, that tells you how many hoplites you can move. It doesn't mean that you can move them more than 1 space. You can move into any adjacent space, but 1 leadership point means you can move 1 hoplite 1 space. Right, so once you've done that, then you will be taking 1 special action out of this slot. So the first special action you can do is you can prepare, right? And you can do 2 of the following options, or you can do 1 of the following options twice. So you can heal 1 injury from your hero board. You can draw a combat card if you want, but you've got a hand limit of 4, except when you're in a beast battle thing, when you're on a hunt, yeah. Or you can recruit 1 hoplite where your hero is located. So the second special action is you can go on a monster hunt, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So the next one you could do is you can usurp, and you will need the glory token for this, and there's various ways to get the glory token from the region, and one is killing a monster that's in a region, and the other way to get a glory token is to fulfill the criteria of a quest that's in that region. So what you'll be doing when you usurp, you will need to move your hero into a region, and then you'll take control of that region, forcing all your opponent's hoplites out, and then you'll recruit 1 hoplite in that region, right? So the next one you can do is you can build a temple in an area you control with a shrine icon on it, right? And you'll take the temple from the temple tray, you'll place it in that region, and then you take a priest from your reserve and put it in your priest pool. So the next one you can do is you can recruit, and that means that you can recruit 2 hoplites in every region where you've got a city, and if you're in control of Sparta, then you can put 4 hoplites in that region. So the next thing you can do is you can march, and that means just taking all of your hoplites from one region and dumping them in an adjacent region. So the final special action you can do, and this acts as a sort of an end of turn mechanism. You'll be building a monument, and what you'll do, you'll choose one of the monuments that you like out of the 3 out of core box out of 3, and you'll just add another level to the monument. And then what you'll do after that with this action, you'll take all the priests out of all the monuments and you'll put them back in each player's reserve. Then everyone refreshes all their artifacts and their special action tokens come off of their player board. And then what you do, you roll the monster die, and depending on what that does, it'll either move or attack. It'll do various different things randomly based on the roll of a die. And then what you do, you'll draw another quest card, and if it's a monster that's already out on the board, then it'll evolve and it'll become more powerful. If it's not on the board, you'll put it on the board in a respective area. And if there's a quest card comes out, if there's a slot for it, a vacant slot on the board for the quest card, then you'll put it on that slot. And the way quest cards work is that if you're in a region with a quest token, you can dump your hero on the quest, fulfilling the first criteria. So you've got 3 levels of the quest, and it may mean that you've got to have a certain level of score on your attributes for speed, leadership, or strength, or whatever. And you can start. The higher up you are on your player board, the further into the quest you can go. And what you do on subsequent rounds, you move your hero 1 step further onto the quest until you've completed it, and then you'll take the benefit. So monster hunting. So the way this works is that you'll be in a region, your hero will be in a region with a monster, right? And what you do, you'll draw 2 combat cards and then you'll play one. And the way it works is each monster tray has got different squares on it that correspond to different icons on your combat card, and you'll play a combat card and you'll put a wound token on the corresponding area on the monster. And once you've filled up all of the locations, the hit locations on the monster will die, and then you'll get the monster artifact and a priest, or depending on what injuries you made, you'll get another benefit. So if you can't match a symbol, then the hunt will be over and you have to defend yourself against the monster's attack ability. And again, you'll be playing cards from your hand, combat cards from your hand, and you'll be looking at the number, and you'll have to get a certain amount that's equal to or more than the monster's attack strength, right? And this will go on and on and on until the hunt ends, but you still get a benefit if the hunt ends successfully. So it's a sort of a lucrative way of getting extra stuff. And obviously there's if you defeat 3 monsters, then you win the game. But we'll talk about the victory conditions now, right? So the way that you win this game, you can kill 3 monsters, you can control 5 regions with temples in them, you can control 2 lands, so lands are like the bigger areas and they're made up of different regions. Or if you control a region with a fully built monument for 3 turns after the final stage is built, then you will win the game, right? So battles, the way the battles works, it's really simple. So sort of a bit like Kemet. What you'll be doing, you'll be taking the number of hoplites you've got in the region, and so will your opponent, and then the defender will play a combat card, take the combat strength and any abilities that it gives you. Then you'll keep doing this until you both pass, and whoever's got the biggest combat strength will win. So the loser will have to retreat into a vacant or friendly adjacent region if they can't get destroyed. Whoever completes one of the 4 victory conditions first will be the winner of Lords of Hellas. So what do we like about Lords of Hellas? So the first thing that we really like about this one is the theme, and we love the Greek myth theme. Our favourite game of all time, Cyclades, right? So immediately we're drawn to the theme. It's fantastic. You've got everything you need in there for a wonderful game about Greek myth, and you've got the monsters, and then you've got the heroes, and it all ties up real nice. It's all sort of semi-accurate stuff, right? So it all ties up really nice, and the theme is really strong in this game. So the second thing that we want to talk about, that we like about this one, is that the game keeps on giving, and we love games that give you stuff all the time. Favourite bit about that is the blessings, right? So once somebody takes the monument action, there's like a small card draft of these blessings, and they're really, really powerful permanent special abilities that you've got at your disposal all the time. So every time somebody uses a build monument action, everyone's going to get a blessing, and if you're the one that triggers it, you get first dibs, right? So it's in your interest to keep building the monuments, and some of these are really, really powerful. I mean, they allow you to travel around the map, they give you all these combat bonuses, they might help you on quests, and they're absolutely fantastic. Blessings really do make this game really, really a lot better. So the next thing is the components. I mean, it's overkill, right? The monuments are absolutely huge. They're almost bigger than me. So you've got your heroes miniatures as well. All the hoplites are different for each colour. Yeah, the board is really, really colourful. You've got wonderful components. The artwork in this is really, really good. You've got that alien sort of thing going on, and they've tried to make the art sort of a bit classical and a bit sort of contemporary as well. So it works really well. So the final thing we like about this is the basic premise of this game. It's very, very simple, and it's just a case of take as many regular actions as you can, and then take one special action, and that's it. That's all you got to do. So when you're sort of explaining how the game works at the beginning, right, only, then you can. It's really easy to sort of get it into players' minds that that's what you do: regular actions, special action. But then it starts to get a bit more complicated, which we'll talk about in a sec. So what don't we like about Lords of Hellas? So the first thing that we not too enamoured with on this one is the alien theme. I mean, why? What's the point in that? It seems a bit weird, doesn't it? I mean, did they add the alien technology stuff on so it could differentiate itself from other games about Greek myths? Because otherwise did they think the theme was too similar to Cyclades? I don't know, but it seems a bit weird, and it gets lost as the game progresses. You sort of forget that there's that sort of alien tech thing going on, because it doesn't really sort of come into the game that much. So it's a bit of a weird, strange anomaly with the game, right? So the second thing that we're not too keen on with this one is it is so slow, and you're sort of wading through treacle trying to get your attributes up. You're trying to get hoplites on the board, you're trying to get priests on the board, and it's like there's that common thing with these dudes on the map games is you've got this massive build up of troops, and if you make a move and you're not successful, then you lose everything, right? And then you've got to start again. And where the game is so slow to build up, and you could lose everything in a heartbeat. Similar games like this, Rising Sun, right? It's the same kind of thing. You build up your troops and then you go for it in Rising Sun. But that differentiates itself from this one, because you've got the war reparations thing where you get rewarded for losing. So not everything's lost, and it encourages battles. But this one, you tend to have people holding off, not wanting to take that risk. So that's really annoying. So the next thing we're going to talk about, and this could be a bit of a long list, is the monster hunts are lucrative, but they're unbalanced, right? What it comes down to in a monster hunt is that it's a random card draw, and dependent on whether or not you draw a card with the right symbol, that's the difference between winning and losing on the monster hunt, right? And it's really poor. You draw two cards, it's like, I didn't get the one I wanted. So you can't judge whether or not your hunt's going to be successful. So it's just, you may as well just roll the die, right? And then if you do make a few inroads into the monster, somebody could just come in and just go, "Whoa, cheers mate, I'll have some of that," and then take the whole thing. So all your hard work is undone. So it makes the monster hunts less attractive. I think we only had one, and when we did a run through this one the other day, and I think we only did one monster just to see what happened. I think that was it, because nobody wanted to have a go. They're too worried about holding their combat cards back in case they get invaded or for other reasons, right? So monster hunts, it's lucrative, powerful if you get it right, but it's all basically just down to a random card draw. So the next thing that we don't like about this one is that one of the ways to sort of win the game is to flood an area with a monument, flood it with hoplites, and then just get a few combat cards up, and then just keep spamming the monument, just keep building the monument, build the monument, build the monument. That way, each player only gets one special action before the turn resets, yeah? And that sort of stops them. If you flood in those areas with hoplites, and nobody wants to have a go at you because they're worried about losing everything, then you could just keep building the monument, and then once you built the top level, after 3 turns you win the game. And I know it's up to people to try and stop you from doing that, but what if they're concentrating on you? They can't then fulfill their own victory conditions, right? So there's this mismatch. I don't know, that just seems like it's sort of too powerful. Maybe we need to play it 25 times to figure it out, but to us that seemed like it sort of that mechanism was broken, and we were all astonished, thinking, well, I could just sit here and just keep doing that action every time, and that stops other people from doing what they want to do. So yeah. So another thing if you're getting bored or annoyed, turn it off, right? Yeah, it's too hard to get anything done. It's too hard to move troops. It's too hard to get troops. It's too hard to get priests. It's too hard to get combat cards. And like we said, it's like you're wading through a big vat of treacle just to get anything done, right? And that puts people off from actually using the stuff they got. It's like you've got a flow chart in your brain, and it's very difficult to remember. I kept on asking, how do I get priests? How do I get people on board? How do I do this? And you might start at the top and say, like, if you want a priest, you start here, and then you go, did I get a priest? Yes. Did I do this? No. Did I do this? Yes. And then eventually you get to the bottom. So it's like either reading a spreadsheet or having a flow chart in your brain, and it drove me nuts. It really did. I'm going to bang on about these negative points because we're always honest here. We're always going to tell you what we really think. And this core set seemed like it was half baked, right? There was bits missing. The fact that you've only got 3 monuments in the core set, and one of the regions doesn't have one. It seems to me that they're just trying to flog you extra stuff. It's probably part to do with it. This game's kick-started and that. But what that means is that one of the players in a 4-player game is going to be disadvantaged at the gate because either they're not going to have a monument in their region. In order to get one, they're going to have to sit in a region with another player, right? So that to me is a complete, they've robbed you, right? Straight out of the back. So you're going to have to go for an expansion to sort of rebalance that aspect. And when we played it, my mum was stuck in this region with no monument, and she couldn't get out, she couldn't move around. She found herself sort of doing something, and then a monster would move in, kill all her troops, and then it was sort of 1 step forward, 2 steps back for her. And I looked at her, I thought, I'm glad I'm not in your position, because I'm just going to keep spamming the monuments, right? And I don't know, it just seemed, this game seems really unbalanced to me. So, to summarise, is Lords of Hellas worth playing above other similar games of this type? So, no, it's not worth it. I mean, it's an interesting mess. That's what I think about this. It's an interesting concept, you know, and I always love dudes on the map. We had a look at it, and it's just a complete mess of a game. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's unbalanced. The unbalanced victory conditions means that there's always going to be at least one player that's going out there trying to figure out what they want to do and not being able to do it, right? It suffers from too much stuff going on, and like we said, it's like a flow diagram. You know, you need to do this, and then that allows you to do this and this and this and this, and it's like you start at the top with one of the actions, and then that can spread out into another action. That drove me up the wall. It was a case of you build up, you take a punt, you lose everything, and then you can't do anything, right? And I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's not a bad game. It's just not a very good game, right? I'd rather play other similar games, like you've got Cyclades, right? You've got Kemet. Yeah, that's the two that I'd look at first over this. And then you've got Blood Rage and also Rising Sun, yeah, which does the same similar stuff 100 times better than this. And this one's got nice miniatures and it's got a nice theme, but the actual gameplay, I think, is broken for us. I don't see why we're never going to play this over another game. I think we're probably going to get rid of this one. We'll see how the expansions turn out, but if they don't improve the game, then this one's going to be, we're going to trade this one away. We're going to give this maybe a 5 out of 10, maybe a 6 at a push. You know, I don't know. We really wanted to like this one. We really did. We had high hopes for this, but at the end of the day, it was like we were pumping up that beach ball only to find that it had a puncture. Right, we can't recommend Lords of Hellas today. So like we said, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to this channel. If you're not angry about us slagging off Lords of Hellas, leave a comment down below and we'll see you next time.